He had been on the road for 18 months when Jack Anywhere realized he no longer remembered what it felt like to stay anywhere. Not really. Hotels were pauses. Campsites were illusions. Cities, no matter how vibrant, felt temporary the moment he arrived. Everything in his life had become motion, and the only constant was the low, steady thrum of the machine beneath him, his Royal Enfield Himalayan. People still commented about it on his channel. Why that bike? Should have gone Japanese. Oh man, you're going to regret that thing. Jack would just grin into the camera. They said this bike was built for the Himalayas, he once replied. Figured I'd give it a fair shot. The truth was simpler. He liked it. The way it looked. The way it felt. Honest, mechanical. Like something that didn't pretend to be more than it was. And so far, it hadn't failed him. Not once. His channel, Jack Anywhere, had grown steadily over the past year and a half. People tuned in for the riding, sure, but they stayed for the chaos. Jack had a habit of getting lost in ways that felt almost intentional, except they weren't. Maps confused him, always had. Letters flipped, directions tangled. North became south more often than he liked to admit. Somewhere out there is where I'm supposed to be, he'd joke. I just take the scenic route. That scenic route had taken him across continents, and eventually into a conversation that would change everything. He first heard about the Afghan mountains in a roadside cafe, somewhere deep in the Middle East. The men there didn't describe them like tourists describe places. There were no lists, no recommendations, just quiet certainty. Beautiful, one of them said, tapping the table for emphasis. Not like other mountains. Different. That word stuck with Jack. Different. It pulled at him in a way he couldn't explain. Still, when he reached the Afghan border days later, that pull was tangled with something else. Nervousness. He killed the engine and sat for a moment, helmet still on, hands resting on the handlebars. This wasn't just another border crossing. He knew what people back home would say. He knew the risks. But Jack Anywhere didn't turn around. He rolled forward. The guards approached, cautious at first. Their eyes moved over him. His gear, the dust-coated bike. One of them lingered on the camera, mounted to his helmet. Then his expression shifted. You, the guard said, pointing. You are Jack Anywhere. Jack blinked. Yeah? The guard broke into a grin. Everything changed after that. Tea appeared. Tension vanished. They spoke in a mix of English and gestures, laughing more than Jack expected. One of the guards even pulled out his phone and showed a clip. Jack struggling to navigate a roundabout in another country. You go wrong way, the guard said, amused. Frequently, Jack admitted. Eventually, the conversation turned to his destination. Jack pointed at the mountains. I heard they're incredible. The guard nodded, then crouched and traced a route in the dirt. Go north, he said carefully. Very good. Safe. His finger paused, then moved in another direction. Do not go south, he added. South is not good. Jack nodded seriously. North, he repeated. And he meant it. He really did. 2 days later, Jack Anywhere was riding south. He didn't notice at first. The road felt right. The scenery was breathtaking. Jagged ridges stretching into the distance, valleys carved by time, the kind of raw beauty that made him forget everything else. If this was wrong, it didn't feel wrong. By the end of the first day, he was filming again. I don't know what people were talking about, he said into the camera. This place is unreal. By the second day, the sky began to darken. At first it was subtle, then it wasn't. Clouds gathered, thick, heavy, unnaturally dark. They rolled across the sky like something alive, swallowing the light. The air turned cold, sharp against his skin. Jack slowed the bike. That's not great, he muttered. Lightning cracked across the sky, far away, then closer. Then, a bolt slammed into the ground ahead of him with a deafening explosion. Jack flinched. Okay, that's worse. He scanned the horizon. Nothing. No buildings, no shelter. Just rock and open land. Then he saw it. A dark slit in the side of a mountain. A cave. Guess we're going there, he said, already turning the bike. The terrain worsened quickly. Loose stones shifted under his tires. The Himalayan struggling but holding on. Jack pushed it as far as he could before finally giving up, killing the engine, and dragging it forward on foot. The storm was almost on top of him now. Lightning struck again, closer this time. Then another bolt hit the ground barely 20 feet away. Jack froze, then dropped the bike and ran. Rain came down in sheets, soaking him instantly. His boots slipped against the rocks as he scrambled upward, heart pounding. Not how I pictured today going, he gasped. The cave loomed larger as he approached, much larger. What had seemed like a small opening was towering up close, at least 13 feet high, narrow but imposing. Jack crossed inside just as the storm fully broke. Darkness swallowed him, not complete darkness. Lightning flashes from outside lit the cave in brief, harsh bursts. But between them, it was dim and oppressive. And it smelled. Jack recoiled slightly. Yeah, that's not good. Rotten, heavy, like something had died. Recently, he took a cautious step forward. Then, a thunderous sound erupted from within the cave. Not from the sky. From inside. Jack jumped, slipping on the wet stone. His feet shot out from under him, and he slammed backward, his head striking the rock. Everything went black. And when he came to, something felt wrong. His head throbbed. The world spun. There was a pressure on his leg, tight, painful. Did I break? He started to think. Then he realized he wasn't lying down. He was hanging. Upside down, Jack opened his eyes slowly. The world came into focus in fragments, a massive torso. Hair, muscle, skin stretched over something impossibly large. His gaze moved upward and kept going until he saw the face. Okay, Jack whispered. Now that's new. The giant held him easily in one hand. It spoke, low, rumbling, incomprehensible. Jack swallowed. Yeah, I've got no idea what you're saying. The giant leaned closer, studying him. Then their eyes locked. Something shifted. Jack felt it, not physically, but inside his mind. A sudden clarity, a connection. Thoughts not spoken, but understood. The giant saw him. Everything, his memories, his intentions, the endless road behind him. And Jack saw the giant. Not a monster, something older, hidden, bound to a world Jack had stumbled into by accident. You are not a threat. The thought was heavy, certain. Jack felt a flicker of hope. Then, but you have seen... Images flooded his mind, others like this one, hidden across the world. A fragile secret, carefully protected. I cannot let you leave. Jack's chest tightened. The next thought hit harder. I will not waste your death. Yeah, no, Jack said aloud, panic rising. He reacted instantly. His hand dove into his pocket, pulling out a small can of pepper spray. Let's see if this works on giants. He sprayed. For a split second, nothing. Then the giant roared. It dropped him. Jack hit the ground hard and scrambled to his feet. That worked. That actually worked. He ran, the cave entrance, there. Behind him, the giant bellowed, clawing at its eyes. Outside, the storm raged on. Jack sprinted through the rain toward his bike. Halfway there, he glanced back. The giant was coming. Fast, too fast, but blind, stumbling, crashing into rocks, regaining balance only to lose it again. Jack reached the Himalayan. Don't fail me now, he muttered. He hauled it upright, adrenaline surging, and jumped on. The engine roared to life instantly. Yes, he twisted the throttle, and something slammed into him. The world flipped. Jack hit the ground hard, gasping. He looked up. The giant stood over him. And in its hands, his motorcycle, raised high. Of course, Jack muttered. Of course this is how it ends. For a strange moment, he thought of his mom. That bike is going to kill you one day. He almost laughed. Then the sky split open. Lightning struck the bike. The explosion was instant. Light, sound, force, all at once. Electricity surged through the machine into the giant, engulfing it in fire and energy. The giant collapsed, still burning. Jack lay there staring. I'm buying another Himalayan, he said weakly. He walked through the night. No bike, no gear, just him. By dawn, Jack Anywhere reached a small town. The locals listened as he told his story. Their reactions weren't disbelief. They were worried. An older man stepped forward. You must not say this again, he said. Jack frowned. You believe me? The man nodded. That is why you must not say it. A pause, then. You need to leave soon. People will come. Jack felt a chill run through him. For the first time since he started his journey, Jack Anywhere understood something clearly. Getting lost had finally taken him somewhere he was never meant to go.